Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Midnight Mayhem podcast, where we always save room for dessert. Today, we're going to be talking about a 2005 movie called Feast. Before we get into it, let's go ahead with our introductions.
I'm Bobby, and I love horror.
I'm Leo. I love movies.
And I'm Raymond, the other guy. So, Leo, tell us about the movie.
What is there to tell, man? I mean,
Give us a quick rundown, just a quick synopsis.
basically, it's about a group of people stuck inside a bar in the middle of a desert, Nevada, and then the bar just gets overrun by like these creatures. That's pretty much it. Like that's
the whole movie.
That's the whole movie. That's the whole
All right,
entire
thank you,
movie.
everybody. Good night.
No, but so the person that's a huge fan of this movie, it's basically you guys, because this is my first time watching this movie.
Well, you were the one who told me about it, so go ahead and
Yeah, this was my
how
recommendation.
did you find out about this?
Yeah.
This was my recommendation because it kind of it hits 2 points. I thought you guys specifically would enjoy it. One, it's a little more of a slasher, kind of a free-for-all type of style, so I figured that would be fun for you. And then the history behind it and the kind of the filmography of everything.
That was mind blowing.
I figured that you would enjoy that, so that's why I chose this movie for this. I originally discovered this movie by an old mentor of mine, an English teacher from my old high school, Mr. Andrews.
Like old mentor, I was like, he was teaching me karate, and he's like, "You ever heard about this
Nah,
movie?"
he was a good dude, and he had told me like, "Hey, you should check this movie out. Like, based on what you like, since you're starting to like horror, like you might enjoy this." And it's funny because I didn't remember how I got the movie. I bought it before I saw it, kind of like I did with Human Centipede.
Yeah.
So,
Like, this will probably be a fun watch.
but this was a recommendation from a teacher. So I was
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be like somewhat more tamed, I
Yeah.
expect. And I actually got it from a FYE that was going out of business.
Wow.
Your older brother was with me.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he was like, "Oh, I remember when you bought that." You're like, "Oh, look it," and then you bought it, and then you went home and watched it. And then right after, I made people watch it. I was like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
I made Bethel watch it. I made you.
Yeah, I remember because I could have sworn I saw it with Leo, but apparently that never happened.
Yeah.
Never
It's like a
happened.
Mandela
We were
effect.
trying to figure it out.
But
Never
you
happened.
were like, "Oh, hey, you should watch this movie." And I was like, "Yeah, let's watch the movie." So I go over to a friend of ours' house. Like, yeah, like Bobby recommended this to me. Like, let's watch it. Like, yeah, let's make a day of it. We go like a bunch of pizza. And we're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And then the movie starts and it's like very gory, very bloody. We're just kind of like halfway through the slides. We're like, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I think I'm full.
what made me laugh was when I was watching the director's commentary. They were like, "Yeah, get some pizza and watch this," and I was like, "Yeah." No,
That's exactly. First of all, don't do that.
For those of you who watched it based off my recommendation, either you're welcome or I'm sorry, because it kind of goes both
You're
ways.
welcome. It was a
Oh yeah, but someone who is it's not really something I go intro horror. It's something I'm like, okay, like
Yeah,
you want to watch a campy B-rated horror.
I would say
a
this is
budget one.
probably the definition of a B horror movie.
Yeah, but that was what they were going for.
yeah. That's
like
true.
So let's get into that question real quick. Did you like it? Yes or no? Like you saw it like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
15 years ago?
When you first saw it for
no,
the
I
first
still love it.
time,
You still love it?
But I don't. Yeah, go for it.
me,
yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it. Yeah, I
You
mean,
liked it?
basically, yeah, because I mean, like, I'm not a fan of slashers, but I am a fan of just like a monster flick.
Creature flicks, yeah.
Creature flicks,
creature
exactly.
feature.
Yeah.
And it reminded me a lot of Tremors. Tremors is like
Yeah,
it's my
It's right there.
what do they call it? Your guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my guilty pleasure movies. Like it's like whenever it's on, I watch it. And it's like it reminded me of Tremors so much. Like it's like they don't the first Tremors, and the first Tremors like it's these people that are stuck in a town, and then they just get attacked by these sandworms. They don't explain where they come from. It just kind of happens, and they just have to deal with it, And it's just so entertaining. And same thing with this. Like it's just these creatures that just come after them.
I was kind of hoping one of you guys would have been like, oh yeah, I didn't really like it, because now I feel like Hereditary all over again. Where I was like, oh yeah, like I wasn't really for me.
Okay, well, no. There was stuff.
Not really.
There was some stuff
You
that I
didn't
didn't
like it?
like.
So- Surprise,
So when I
okay.
first watched it, when you recommended it to me, I was like, oh man, like Bobby was talking so highly about this movie, like I bet I'm gonna love it. And I was like, oh man, like I want Bobby to think I have cool opinions,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, it was cool, like yeah, like A+. But I was rewatching it and I was kind of like, this is just like mean, like me, like not like mean, like it's like some like a lot of the deaths are like super unceremonious.
Just mid.
Yeah, like people die for like no reason, which is like it's fine to have that, but like some
Okay,
people, they,
well,
like,
I mean,
lead up
look.
to it.
Well, right off the bat, like the movie makes a point out of like introducing everybody like a comic book character, like they're all going to be important, and then right off the bat they kill about like 5 of them.
The first
That's
one that
literally
dies,
what they do because
the first one that died was the hero.
They introduced 15 people right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah.
And then we had who we thought was the main protagonist, the hero.
The
Literally was
hero.
his name. Titled as the hero. He died, and
I
then
remember because
the vet died.
when I watched it the second time. So like technically the first time I watched it for the podcast,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wonder if these introductions are gonna have anything to do with anything.
Uh-huh.
No,
No,
not
no.
even a little bit.
No, they were
You-
just fun.
You
little,
learn their names and that's it.
Well, no,
And then-
because like it's like for Hot Wheels, they're like he's not gonna die. You know, like they don't kill a kid in a wheelchair, which is
Not
funny.
in a wheelchair, no.
Yeah, not in a wheelchair. And then for like the old man, I forgot his name,
Bartender.
the bartender.
They're literally named their titles.
Yeah,
That's
I
what's
know,
hilarious.
I know. And then like
it's meant
on-
to be a
on-
horror comedy, so
Yeah.
it's not meant to be offensive in any way. Oh, well, some moments probably are, but they're more just for people who are horror veterans.
cliches and shit like
And
this.
then they
yeah.
try to subvert, like obviously, like they said under
No,
Cody's.
yeah, like I was watching
It's
it.
meant to be fun. Like
I was watching it and it
me,
was
I'm
like,
what?
oh, like this person, like, oh, like life expectancy is like don't hold your breath, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like so he's probably gonna be like the first one to die or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
That was Bozo's
No.
intro, I think.
No, and
it
then
was
well,
the beer dude or beer guy.
Beer guy.
Oh,
Oh,
Beer
Guy.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That was,
yeah.
his name was Beer guy.
Yeah.
I but it's like it's so funny because the bartender one, it's like in his death expectancy, it said like we'll die in 70 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, died in 70 minutes of this movie. Like, a horrible, gruesome
70
death.
70
Yeah.
minutes.
And then he died from a heart attack.
Yeah, which is it's like
In the
out
final
of,
act.
out of
Like,
all of them, he had the most normal death.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Fun fact: that was the director's father.
No way.
Yeah, and he was he's an old
Wow.
actor, so he had been in a lot of previous films.
I wasn't sure if
cool.
that was like a weird like hey dad, be in my movie. I want to watch you die. You know.
No,
I don't think that's ever usually the case, but I wonder if there are people out there who are like, hey dad, like can you do my thing real quick?
I don't think anyone would have known that if they didn't bother to look at like
Yeah,
who
'cause
the
I
actors.
didn't look at any of the. I didn't
No.
look at any of the
And
stuff.
I knew that I remember that information going into it because I remember
Uh-huh.
I watched this movie and all the special features back in 2009.
9, 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2000. No, actually, no, I was a sophomore, so yeah, 2010.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, I was laughing when I was rewatching it because like, dang, I remember a lot of information about this, and
Mm-hmm.
I still enjoy this movie. But that's because I enjoy chaotic horror in general. So
Yeah.
it was already my cup of tea to begin with.
I had no expectations going into this movie. In fact, like for some reason, I thought it had to do something with like, you guys ever seen the movie? I think it was called Meat or something like that. It's about that vegan girl.
Yeah, the chick who they make her eat meat and then
Exactly.
She's just like, oh,
Raw.
I wanna, like,
yeah,
start-
raw.
start
There you go,
raw.
raw. So
Was it called raw?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I thought it had something to do with that. I don't know. Like I never seen the trailer, didn't know what to expect. So first going into this movie, I was like, okay, like this is weird,
I want to get into that point. What do you guys think of the title of the movie?
I just
Because rewatching it, I was like, there's maybe like 2 scenes or 3 scenes where they like actually eat someone.
no, you just remind. I just made me think of the title,
Yeah,
the title
I
card.
guess.
What was it? It was the like. Oh my goodness! I'm drawing a blank. I'm gonna look it up right now.
You look it up,
Oh my goodness!
Because I remember when I watched it the first time, I was like, oh yeah, like all these monsters like eating people and this and that, and I rewatched it and I was like, no, not really,
Well, it's not that they eat people; they just kind of like slaughter them.
Yeah.
Like when
so
that little
then I
thing
was
goes
thinking,
through the
like,
wall and it just starts like it just cuts that dude's leg off. It cuts that dude's face off. Like it's just like a slaughter fest,
Yeah.
So I feel like feast is more like it's like the variety of like food options in the bar,
No, the idea is that they were feasting on them. That was the whole
Yeah,
point.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
literally.
That's what I
it's,
thought, and I was like, it's not
Uh-huh.
a super deep movie.
It's
So
not.
it's
it's meant to be
not.
as straightforward as possible. That's why.
Yeah.
I chose it because it's like, it's meant to be playful fun, chaotic horror, and then there's some scenes that I didn't kind of care for. There was like 2 scenes I didn't care for,
Yeah.
but it was only to distinguish that the monsters are just like kind of mindless creatures. Like they're smart, they're intellectuals.
Can I,
Like,
can
they
I
can
guess,
plan?
can I guess the 2 scenes?
Yeah.
Did they? All right, we're gonna play 21 questions.
That's
Okay?
the
Oh, here we
sploosh.
go.
And then you're gonna, yeah. I was like, does it involve humping?
Yeah.
And both scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that threw me off. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I
That
get
was
it.
the only thing I didn't. think
It's
was
a goofy
necessary.
That's why
movie.
I was like, oh, like 2005 humor.
Yeah, I was like,
that
it's
was the
a
only thing that
goofy
didn't age
movie,
too
but
well.
then I was like, when it does that, I was like, okay, now it's just way too goofy. Now it just seems like a parody, which in reality, this whole movie is a parody.
Yeah.
But it's like it just like I don't know. They just made the creatures kind of like I don't know. That was a stupid choice
Because they're
you know?
using the creatures use tools. They
Right.
use human parts. They shield themselves from the heat. So they wear animal like horns.
Right.
The idea is that they're not trying to get, everyone always complains about creatures being over-explained in their films.
Right.
So this one's literally like, survive. Survive, that's the only intention.
That's the only
and
thing,
then
That's what
yeah.
I like. That's what I liked about it because
That's why I thought you'd like it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm like, what?
I don't like the over explanation.
Yeah.
Like, if they were just like, oh well, they were testing chemicals
Yeah.
in Nevada.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
we don't need any of
no,
that.
no,
We just
no.
need to know like, hey, big monster,
That's
kill or be killed.
yeah, and that's what I like about it because it's like it reminded me of Tremors. It's the same thing, and it also reminded me of From Dusk Till Dawn. Like these people just go to a bar, and all of a sudden, like the bar people just turn to vampires.
Yeah.
They don't explain why they're there. They just kind of like
vampires.
yeah, they're just oh now you gotta just survive till dawn, or till
From
yeah
dusk till dawn.
yeah till dawn.
Yeah, that's why it's called that.
I didn't think I was going to need this paper, so I went to go grab it because I just threw it aside. I literally said I wrote, what is it, 37 minutes in the movie. Yeah. That's when they had the humping monsters on the car
Oh yeah,
outside.
Oh, outside,
When they make a new
Yeah.
baby.
when they just
Yeah.
flops down and it's just like this gooey thing.
Yeah.
But
Which
it's it.
aren't all babies just gooey things when you think about it.
It had some cool effects. This movie has some cool.
Some of it. I was gonna
Practical
say, because you were talking about how like they use tools like they cover themselves and stuff.
Mhm.
I remember seeing the creatures for the first time, not the little baby one, but the big ones outside, and I was like, oh, like I actually like the characters, like the design for these monsters. But when they took off the cloaks or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, they just look like mini.
Yeah, they just look like exactly. But I mean, it's for what it is. Like you can tell, like this movie had a really low budget,
Yeah.
and it's like they worked really good with it. Like I didn't like. So here's one thing that you guys really hyped up that I was disappointed with.
I was going off memory. All right, first off, that was like 12 years ago.
Wait,
No, that's
let-
fine. That's fine.
okay,
That's
okay.
fine.
Let me throw this out there real quick. They explain the plot at 37 minutes because they say it doesn't matter where they came from. It doesn't matter what they are. You just have to survive. Like, we just got to kill them before they kill us.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
much. Okay.
I was like, what part was it? Because they literally say it in the movie. They're like,
doesn't
like,
matter
it
what the
doesn't
plot
matter,
is. Just
'cause they-
survive.
Because the cliche is that the old person always knows, like,
Right.
what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
So then Bozo, the guy who's kind of like a jerk and like
Yeah.
con artist, grabs the old lady. Is like, I want to beat your ass. Like, you
It's
like,
like,
tell me.
what do you know, old lady?
And
It's
she's
like-
just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And that was hilarious.
Yeah, and then you got Coach who's like giving inspirational speeches.
Yeah, so and then at that moment, that's when it's like, you already know what you signed up for at this moment based on everything that was previous. But I was like, I know there was a specific time when
and
it
I
happened.
and I
What
love
were you
how
gonna say?
like, well, hold on before I get to my thing. I love how like every cliche in this movie, it's like an opposite of that cliche. Like the old people in this movie, like they're just clueless on what's going on, and in other movies, they're like, oh, there's a legend that
Yeah.
goes,
1 year ago tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
One of the biggest cliches is that, usually in horror movies, like kids survive. And one of the first deaths in this movie is the kid, one of the like the most innocent kids, which was the kid upstairs. He just got like, he was hiding, and then like the mom's like, oh, like I got you, I saved you, like, and he just gets torn apart. Like he had one of the most cruelest.
Third death, I believe.
Their death. Oh yeah, because
Pretty
first
sure.
one was the hero,
Well,
and then
no,
It was
because
Hero,
the
then
hero,
Vet.
and then there was like
the vet. Yeah, no, the
Two
vet.
more.
Yeah.
technically, if you
if
count
you
the
don't-
biker chick.
You don't count Lady because she's still alive.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
she's
don't-
still
you
alive
don't know
towards
that
the
yet.
end.
Yeah, but I'm
Like,
saying like
Yeah.
from the kill
Sure,
count.
Like
sure.
if this is a kill count, like
Yeah.
you wouldn't count her yet.
Yeah,
And then-
But
yeah.
and then
Oh,
it's Vet.
what's his
There's
name?
the vet, and then
You're right. There is one more
Yeah.
before that. It's the actor. The
Oh,
actor who
yeah.
played himself.
Yeah,
That's
he got his-
right.
He got his face ripped off.
Who was
oh
it?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
His what's his actual name? They called him. He had his name in the movie was Jason Mewes,
Yeah,
who plays Jay,
Jay.
from
yeah,
Jay and Silent Bob. I thought that was funny. I was like, why do I recognize him?
yeah.
And I liked because when I was watching the commentary when they cut off his face, because that's how he dies. His face gets cut off.
Yeah,
They're like, not a subtle hint to Hellraiser.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, because the makeup artists end up going on to, or the costume designer
Uh-huh.
end up making the next, unfortunately, all the bad
Oh.
Hellraisers, basically 5 through 10.
But they
Jesus.
looked good though, right?
I mean,
I don't know. I never saw them.
Okay,
I just
yeah.
know they weren't good.
Maybe we'll see him one day.
and then you got Coach, who's supposedly supposed to like inspire the group to like survive, and he gives inspirational speeches. But like one of my favorite quotes from that is, I think it's the last inspirational speech that he gave out, and then like you had
There was a lot of good ones.
was a
he did.
bartender. He just turns around, he's all like, "Are you gay?"
Oh no, it was Bozo.
It's Bozo.
Yeah, he
He's
gives
all
this
like,
long speech.
What are you, gay?
That's that was more like the 2005 humor.
I know. It just caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, okay, obviously they're not gonna believe it. And then he just turns around, he's like, "What are you, gay?" And I was like, I couldn't stop laughing.
I thought the scene you were gonna like was when you hear him, he's like, "Oh, he got to the car! He got to the car!" And then Tiff, the main protagonist, she goes to the window, and he's like, the entire time he doesn't curse until he's about to die. Because he's always saying he's kind of like what is it called?
Motivational speaker.
Right.
Yeah, but what's the name of Simpson's neighbor? Flanders.
Ned Flanders.
Oh,
yeah, he kind of just is like, "Oh gosh," he kind of says things like that.
Yeah.
And then his final thing, he's like, "This
bitch."
So it was like the whole time he just doesn't curse or anything.
Until the end.
Oh, he said, "This is bullshit." And he gets used as a battering ram.
Oh yeah. Where they're like,
They use him as a battering ram.
I thought you were gonna like that part.
That one threw me off guard too, where they just grabbed him. The creatures are using him as a tool to open the door. I was like, oh my god.
It's a human battering ram.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of the reason why things took a turn for the worse.
Which part? Oh, because
So basically he went all Animal Planet on him. So they killed the first little baby, and he goes, "Hey guys, I know how we're gonna get out of this situation. We got to show dominance."
All right.
And he takes the baby. He's like, "I'm gonna wave this baby out the window, and they're gonna know not to mess with us." And then they do the thing, and they're like, "Dude, that's like a mom and dad, and you just show them that you killed their baby." He's like, "We're screwed."
Yeah.
And to put more emphasis on the creatures themselves, they were a family. So it was
I think there was four of them. There's mom and dad, grandpa, and then there was a baby.
But in the beginning, when the hero comes in,
the baby dies, and they make another baby.
Yeah. So then I guess 6.
Yeah, but in the beginning, when the hero comes in, he's all like, "There's 4 of them, but I just killed one of them," or no?
Yeah. No, he said there were
4.
They killed one.
Okay, yeah.
They ran it. No, I'm sorry. There were 5. Because the one they ran over was the grandfather, the elder creature.
Oh my god.
So they hit the elder creature, then the family of 4. So the parents and then the 2 babies.
Okay.
They kill one baby. They spawn a new baby.
Right. Back to 4.
Back to 4. Yeah. Then they kill another one. Then they kill the other one becomes like a teenage one.
Yeah, they grow so
kill that
fast.
one.
They
do.
I just had my baby's first birthday party. I know the feeling.
At the end of the movie,
I see the monster kill someone. I was like, oh man, they grow up so fast.
At the end of the movie, the mother survives. The mother.
Oh yeah. So, the post credits.
Yeah, I was like, mid
credits.
There was so I was like, oh, I watched it once and I was like, oh, it was whatever, right? And then it's been like 2 weeks since I've seen it, and I was like, oh, I'll rewatch it before we record. And I got the first 20 minutes or whatever. I was say there was something that I'm going to give the movie credit for, and I might be digging too much into it. There was some good foreshadowing.
I did not even notice.
Right,
all the foreshadowing were fake outs.
I was not looking.
I saw it second. So after the first creature attacks,
yes,
and they're like, all right, we got to board everything up. We gotta protect ourselves. The girl, the waitress, right? I forget her name, Honey Lemon or something.
Something very close. Yeah. It's honey pie.
Honey pie. So she
is that the one with the kid?
She takes
Honey pie is the one that they were checking out when she was taking off all her bloody clothes.
Oh right, okay.
So that part was funny.
Okay,
it was relatable. So she takes the gun from the biker chick. Right?
Yeah.
And then the other characters that you see survive, they place blankets over the dead people.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of see who's gonna be passionate and who's gonna screw them over later.
Oh, I mean, I guess
that's like I said. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. But...
I mean, no, it could be, but I mean, this movie really is just It just
they try to cut out all the fluff out and just get straight to the point.
Yeah, this movie just gets straight. It's just it just happens. There's no symbolism. There's no.
Well, there's a bit, but it's unnecessary because the whole point of the movie is just it's literally point A to point B, and you're being attacked, survive, and
pretty
then
much that's it. That's
I don't know what was your guys' favorite scenes right off the bat, because I can easily list a few of mine.
My favorite,
my number one is
one of my favorite scenes is upstairs. I think it's right after they kill. No. It was Bozo when he gets stuck in the room upstairs, and the creature's coming out of the window. When they let him through, is that where that creature spits all this?
It throws up.
It throws up on
that's when the kid died.
That's when the kid dies.
The kid dies, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Little Timmy. You're
okay, yeah.
Cody. And it's "Oh my god!" she's freaking out, and the monster just throws up on the beer guy.
Yeah, he just keeps throwing up on him like crazy.
I want to say that was almost like a 30-second sequence.
I know, dude. He's just throwing up at him like
Yeah,
crazy
that-
for
that
no
was
reason.
That was a bit.
Yeah.
That was a bit.
Yeah, I know.
So
And
that
then-
what, the throw up was your favorite part, or just
I
that whole
mean,
sequence?
there
It
was
was
that
all
one.
Nickelodeon slime.
There was the
It really
the
was.
battering. There was a battering ram with the dude. You know,
Yeah. So like, what was your favorite moment then? Was it battering ram or was it the?
it had to
throw
be
up?
the battering
Battering
ram.
was
Yeah,
really funny.
Yeah, because that one caught me really off guard.
If I had to pick, I'd probably say the first death, the hero.
The hero's a pretty
Where
good
they're
one.
like,
Yeah.
good,
who the
yeah.
hell are you?
It
He's
makes
like,
it
I'm the guy
memorable.
who's gonna save your lives, and then he just gets
He
taken
just
out
gets
from the-
decapitated. Like it's like okay.
And then right after his wife runs in, it's
He's like, where's my husband? And the introducer is like, hero number 2. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Heroin.
Yeah, it's like, let's hope her chances of survival are better than the first guy's.
I know.
The
Which, I mean, spoiler, like, they weren't.
They kind of were.
Like,
but-
they were pretty good.
They were good, but it was, like I said, a lot of the deaths seemed, like, really, like, unceremonious.
Yeah, that
Like for her, like, obviously the first guy
that was the
like, made
worst
for
one.
laughs.
That's like the
Yeah.
biggest one. That was the one I could
the
think of.
kid
Yeah,
just
the
get,
kid was, like, shock value almost,
yeah.
and then into a comedic moment.
Mhm.
The beer guy, I mean, they like
That was
slowly
my
make him, they slowly make
That
him
was
like a
my
jerk.
favorite death. The
They-
beer guy's death was my favorite
They
death.
slowly make him like a jerk,
Oh yeah,
but like the whole time they're
Jax.
just like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
just make him suffer.
Yeah, he suffered
Yeah.
the most out of everybody.
He's like how's my eye look? And it's just like full of
It's
maggots. and
infested
he's
of
like,
maggots.
It looks good. Like you're doing better. You're gonna be
Good,
okay.
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but when the monster threw up on the guy and it was green, I was like, oh, that's like acidic, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
thought
they
I thought it
don't
was
say
gonna
anything, I'm
melt.
just like,
Yeah,
oh, it's green, like it's acidic.
stomach acid. Yeah.
yeah. I thought
that's
I
where
thought he
it
was gonna
comes
start
from.
melting off, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool, you
No,
know.
he slowly started decomposing.
But
over
he
the course
started,
of
yeah,
the-
he slowly, he's like, I'm getting sick, stuff like that. He just started like decaying and shit.
And the thing is that like
Almost reminded me of like cabin fever.
well, that was
For, like, his portion.
A little
little
bit,
bit, yeah.
the I thought you were gonna mention that as foreshadowing because he tries to leave. He's like, I need to go to the hospital, and he's about to walk out, and the heroine, because they don't have actual names, they just have their titles.
Just a heroin.
Yeah, the heroine.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you can't go out there. He's like, no, f you, you don't care about me. And she's like, no, you're right, I don't care about you, but I can't die because I have a daughter out
She
there.
has a really good
And
line
then
in
you have your
that.
incentive. You have her incentive. It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And she refuses to let him open the door. Then when she's stuck outside, he stops everyone from opening the door for her.
Because
So-
she says,
She said, we agreed we're not
yeah.
opening the door for anyone. And then she's like, come on, let me in. And then that was like, I was like, oh, that one's not really, if you were paying attention, it's like a moral
Right,
dilemma.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's like, oh, it's just a passing moment. Now he's acting like a jerk.
she had the best lines in the whole movie, though.
There was a lot of
When
good
she-
ones.
Yeah,
I
'cause
like
she's-
Tiff a lot. I don't.
That's true. I really like hers when she's all like, just because you want to risk your life doesn't mean you have to risk mine or something like that.
That was the heroines, yeah.
Yeah,
But what was it? Like I said, they caught the fluff. Like they were planning on having a scene where the mother, the Tiff, was gonna have emotional breakdown.
Oh, okay.
Where she sees her son, and she just is just crying in the corner, and
my
Hot Wheels is
God.
just watching her. But they just took it out because they were like, yeah, we're not
This-
we're not
yeah,
trying to go there. Just literally like.
yeah. 'Cause I feel like the kid, it was a reason why he went in the beginning, is because it was amazing for shock value, but like, I don't know, like
she ends up becoming the new heroine.
They
Yeah.
just give him like a thing to like bond over, where it's like, hey, like you lost your kid, like I have my kid, like I'm trying to see my kid again, like you would understand from my perspective.
Yeah,
Like,
she
Right,
if you
supports
yeah.
could
her.
see your kid, yeah,
Yeah.
then you would do anything you could to survive.
mhm.
And then Bozo has a character arc too. It's more like he doesn't care about anyone but
Really
himself.
barely.
Him and his no, he only cares about him and his brother. Hot Wheels is his brother. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, I didn't caught that. no.
Yeah.
I caught that.
They say it like directly.
Oh, I missed it.
He goes, "Oh, how do you put up with this a-hole?" And he's like,
He's my
He's
brother."
my brother."
Oh, okay. I kind of saw it as like, oh, like like he's my friend, like he's
No, it's his brother.
literally okay.
Yeah. So I forgot what point I was making, but his character arc is literally like he's an asshole, but he's not like willing to kill someone asshole.
Yeah,
And so when that scene happens with Lady, I believe that's her name.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the first part. I think it's the
Like
lady.
your
The lady
lady.
they sacrifice basically.
Yeah.
He's completely against it.
Yeah.
And then they had this moral dilemma where it's
because
like
that part was like I said,
that part was a mean spirited part.
some part seems mean spirited. So pretty much, they're like, hey, we're gonna strap a bomb to a dead body. We're gonna get it out when those things start to feast, right?
Yes.
We're gonna
Which
blow it up,
is
and we're
it's
gonna,
so much like Tremors too.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. Race cars. Yeah.
and we're gonna blow it up. So they start tying they're like, oh, let's just get this lady. She's missing a leg. Easy to carry. I grabbed the two arms, you grabbed the one leg, and they strap the bomb to her, and they're like, yeah, like we're just gonna put it on the roof. We're gonna let her out the window, and we're gonna just explode it. And then she goes, hey, like help me, like I'm alive, and he goes, hey, like I'm not cool with like killing this chick because that's gonna be on me.
It's Bozo and Boss Man. The Boss Man's the one who's like the big asshole that like he's a scumbag right off the bat. You know his character. You're hoping this guy's gonna die. Yeah. A horrible, gruesome death. Bozo's like a young asshole. Like basically. Yeah. He's just that's how these characters because we never introduced the character. So hopefully you watch
like
the movie.
like an unlikable jock.
That was gonna say like a jock. Yeah.
Like a sorority bro.
So there's a moral dilemma where she wakes up and they're trying to decide whether to still sacrifice her, and one's obviously Bozo's against it,
and then he's like, but she's already dead. Like doesn't matter if she's still alive. She's we already have everything dead.
Set up.
Right.
We have everything ready to go. Like we're just gonna do it, and he's like, no, and he does it anyways. Yeah. Boss Man does it anyways because he's a piece of shit. Yeah. And he does it anyways, and then they blow her up. Killing one of them.
After another like really unceremonious like let's get another hump scene in there.
Yeah. Oh my god, I know. That was goofy as hell. I was like, why? Like
that's what because I was watching the movie and I was like, okay, let me see like what I remember, like what I enjoyed about it, and then I was watching and I was like, oh, like this is actually like not super cool.
It's not. I mean, it wasn't even funny in my opinion. Like I don't know, like.
Different time, dude.
I guess different time, different humor.
The lady's name was the Haley Mom. That was like the title of her.
Oh yeah.
In the movie,
is it Haley Mom or Harley Mom?
Harley Mom.
Yeah, so like a bike.
Yeah. And then the actress, because she did an interview in the special features where like part of what she liked about the movie was that they were like willing to just kind of do anything. Yeah. That was what. So I was like, okay, as long as like we don't have like direct like, I don't know. I just want anyone to be like. I feel like actors should be like a big part of how their scenes go.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I don't want anyone to take advantage. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I really hope they didn't like force her to do something she was uncomfortable with.
No,
but for her to be like, oh, I love these stupid horror movies. Like, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Tiffany. Like a lot of the people that were in it were just like, let's go.
Let's go all out with it.
Like, yeah, you want to use me as a battering ram? Like, yeah, let's do it.
But what was it? She was actually the wife of someone. I believe one of the producers or. One of the writers. So like,
this whole
she was
movie,
pretty involved. It was a very small, like you said, it was very low budget.
Super
so
low
it was
budget.
very intimate for like the people that stayed, and then all the actors went on to do other roles with the same director. Unfortunately, the director didn't really do a whole lot of additional stuff.
Yeah.
I looked it up afterwards. I was hoping that he was gonna have like one banger on his list, and they were all kind of like,
this is the only banger.
You watch a bunch of bad movies, like, oh crap, like he made that one, like
it
happens sometimes.
The only one that was noteworthy for me was The Collection, the sequel to The Collector.
He did The Collection?
Yes.
Okay, well that's one of them.
Yeah, but that movie wasn't the weaker of the two.
Yeah.
Still, so like it's a big jump from Feast. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
Feast was his debut film.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a big jump from Feast.
Yeah. So
or it's like a skip. It's like a skip ahead. I would say it's like it's a big leap forward.
What's the director's name? I can't remember.
Oh, dude, I don't even know.
Got it here somewhere.
We could jump into that right now
in a moment, but favorite scene for me was the final death of the Papa demon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, when they just
she freaking bludgeoned it.
Yeah.
They were literally like, "Give me the Molotov cocktail," and she's just like, welling on
him
with
just
a gun.
going, and then she just sticks his arm in his mouth and stuff.
She literally chokes him to death.
She chokes him to death with her
own arm. Come on,
okay.
That's hype as hell.
This whole time I was waiting for him to bite her arm off or something. She broke his teeth. Yeah, that's right. She busted all his teeth.
That reminded me of like. Before, because I know I mention every time, but like even the 2013's like Saw scene, that was the equivalency for me back then.
That's gonna be like the meme of the podcast. Dude,
yeah. I purposely did
it. Bobby
we're talking about something.
Every episode except for Hereditary. I refuse to let myself do it. I almost did it.
We're gonna be like a meme where it's like, oh hey, like you guys want to talk about a movie? Like, have you guys heard of the hit movie 2013?
We should make a drinking game of like take a shot every time Bobby mentions Evil Dead 2013.
We're gonna be passed out on the ground.
I know.
What was it? So that was my favorite scene. I just wanted to throw
okay, no, it's a good scene. It's a good scene.
That scene was amazing.
Because I was gonna mention that scene where like she's just beating the hell out of him. His teeth are like coming out. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the director's commentary again made a really funny joke that reminded me of something you'd say. They were like, she pulls out some of his guts and she just drops it. Yeah. They're like, and that's Cody returning. I was like, no.
Cody.
I got my baby boy back.
It's like,
oh my god.
So I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but there are 2 sequels to this movie.
Yeah, we did not mention that, but yeah, there are 2 sequels.
And they look absolutely horrible.
I did watch them.
I didn't see them. I just saw that, like they exist. Yeah, but I didn't see anything on it.
So because it's technically spoiler, but not really.
I'm listening.
You said that the old guy died.
Well,
The
we've
bartender?
already spoiled like everything. You can just spoil
Yeah,
anything. At this
bartender
point.
dies of a heart attack.
He doesn't.
Oh no, not the bartender. No, yeah, the bartender.
He has a heart attack. He doesn't die.
Well, no, a handful of the characters that are in this movie are in the sequels.
Yeah.
I don't know
For
why.
real?
So
like a lot of them, like people who like definitely died, they're still in the movies.
What?
The
Oh,
bar-
but
I
don't know if
there's
they're-
different.
The bartender
oh,
died.
I don't know. I haven't
no,
seen
no,
the movies.
All same actors. All same actors.
I know.
The bartender dies.
I want to watch
and
this movie.
The bartender
I don't know
dies,
if I
and
wanna
they like
watch it.
they find him in the next movie. They're like, "Hey, like what happened here?" And he's like, "Let me tell you his tale." So it was like they kind of like
the second
now
one?
the old people know what's going on.
Oh,
The old lady, I think her name was Grandma.
Yep.
right. Yeah.
She dies they're like, "Oh, we're all gonna die." And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna take some
She
beer.
dies. She dies
I'm
off
gonna go in the closet."
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see her for the rest of the movie.
until the after
freezer.
credit scene. Yeah.
And she goes to the freezer.
She dies at the end though.
Yeah.
She's like, "Is everything cool?" And then I guess another monster was alive.
Mama comes and kills her.
But the chick who abandons them, she's pretty much like the main focus of like the next two movies.
I was hoping so. That was what I was hoping for. But yeah,
So slight spoiler, but I mean, if you just look at the movie poster, you're like, okay, like I know what I'm in for.
I saw.
I mean,
See, I was looking for this movie. I wanted to buy it on DVD or Blu-ray,
Mhm.
but the Blu-ray was like only online, and then I hopped around to several
she
stores.
just buy it online.
No, I owned it. I was like, why
Oh.
can't I couldn't find it, and then I went around and bought a bunch of movies because I was like, I'm gonna find it eventually. I never
Yeah.
did, but then I found out there was a trio movie, and that's how I found out there was 2 and 3, and I was like,
Yeah.
how did I never know this?
Oh,
So I'm probably gonna watch them because I like them.
so here's the hot take that I didn't tell you guys. So, yeah, I remember you guys always talk about this movie before we even started talking about it on the podcast. Like, oh, have you seen Feast? Oh, we should watch Feast again. You know,
that
stuff
was
like
me
that.
mainly.
That was him.
That was
Yeah.
him mainly. Okay,
I saw it
good.
the one time. I was like, oh, that was
But
funny.
then, like, you started saying, like, oh, we should watch it while eating pizza. Ha ha ha. You know, crack a joke. And I'm like, oh, this movie has to be gory. You know,
Yeah.
and it was gory, but
it
like,
had its moments.
it,
I
had,
don't say
it
it's
wasn't
like
like
over the top gore.
it wasn't over the top.
I agree with you because I never understood why they were like, oh, we ate pizza and we couldn't eat it during. And
Right away, I was like, okay, this must be a gory movie. But I've seen like,
the shuckle.
I mean, like,
there's a lot of really.
yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
there's
I'm gonna get freezer burn from that hot take.
like the
because,
Evil Dead was a lot more to take than this. Obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
You're
I
talking
agree.
about the original or the remake?
The remake.
Well,
Oh, what are you, Bobby?
Yeah, I know.
No, but there's a handful.
Take a
of-
shot.
Yeah, talking about 2013.
The movie's gory, but I didn't think it was like gross me out gory,
No.
like to the point where I couldn't eat food.
Yeah, but
No,
we were like
no.
what, like sophomores?
We
come
saw
on,
the Human Centipede when we were sophomores.
Yeah,
The first one, or the second one.
The first
First.
one.
First one wasn't that
Both.
First
We saw
one's
both.
disgusting.
The second one was.
wasn't that bad.
The
was
second one was
awful.
crazy. It was
Nah,
crazy. The
I
second
don't
one was
wanna
off
get
the
into it.
rails.
I
Sad.
still look under my foot when
Oh
I hit
my
them-
God,
when I
dude,
hit
no.
the brakes just to make sure.
Oh no!
I did not enjoy the Human Centipede.
You have a
franchise.
kid now, so that should come in handy.
Yeah.
The director's name is John Gulager.
Gulager.
How do you say that?
What the hell is that? Gulager.
Gulager. John Gulager.
Gulager?
Gulager.
Oh, see, we're just bad at reading.
Yeah.
Or what if it was Gallagher?
Gallagher. Oh yeah, from Shameless. I was like, does that say Gallagher?
I was thinking of the dude who like smashed pumpkins.
Who the hell's that?
He's like a famous dude. He just smashed pumpkins with hammers.
Oh, I don't know.
But let's move on to the next thing. You want to talk about how this movie got made? I thought it was
so
cool.
I mean, when the movie ended, I was like, okay, cool. You know, like I stayed a little bit after the credits. There was the after credit or make credit scene with the grandma dying, and then when the credits started rolling, I see the executive producer.
Yes.
It shows one of them, Matt Damon, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
is this a joke? Because at first I thought they misspelled Damon, and I was like, oh, they just put that on there for like laugh, you know. Then after that, they said another executive producer, Ben Affleck. I was
Yes.
like, what? And then another executive producer, Wes Craven, and I was like, well, hold on. I was like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Like, this movie is so low budget, super like cheesy.
Yeah,
like,
I saw the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I was like, okay, like that kind of makes sense. And then I saw
no,
Wes Craven.
how does that
It
make
just-
sense?
It just
dude?
seems like something they would do. Like,
No.
Matt Damon for sure seems like
Yeah.
someone who would fun and like do something like it.
I
Ben
was
Affleck
just
is his
shocked,
friend,
dude.
and he has
And then
more
Chris
money.
Moore. I don't know if you know who Chris Moore is, but he was
No.
listed as an executive producer.
Yeah, I saw that too, but
I wasn't sure who that was. I thought maybe you might.
No. I just the ones that threw me off was just Wes
Wes
Craven.
Craven threw me
Wes
off.
Craven was the one where I was like, oh, okay, so this is supposed to be like a legit movie.
No,
Right.
Wes Craven. That's the one where it's like, okay, I can see him funding like a low key, like you know, low budget B movie, but it's like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It's like, and I started thinking, it's like, what the
That's
hell were
funny, 'cause I
they?
had
What
the-
the hell
I
were
had
they
the
doing
opposite
in 2008? Because Matt Damon
So-
was in the Born Ultimatum in 2008,
Yeah.
around
This
that
is
time.
2005.
Is
so
it
it's-
2005?
This is
Yes.
2005
It's
movie.
a 2005 movie.
So I think he was still in the Born Ultimatum series at that point. And then Ben Affleck, he was, oh my God, he was Daredevil at that point. No, or was that 2002? 2003. I think it was 2003.
Dude, I don't have any research on that.
I think Ben Affleck.
Fact check that because my phone is currently
No,
using
Ben
the background.
Affleck was going on a little downhill stream for his movies, and then Matt Damon was coming up on his movies, and then Wes Craven, he was somewhat relevant at that time, but still, like I was like, what? And so I had to look it up. I looked it up. It turns out that this movie was the outcome of this show, an HBO show from like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like Shark Tank. You have these people with an idea to make a movie. They go to these producers and they tell them like, hey, I have this idea for a movie. I'm going to pitch it to you guys. And then the producer's like, okay, here, we're going to fund it. And then you're going to make it, you know? And this...
So exactly like Shark Tank, but for movies.
Exactly.
Like, oh,
it's exactly like,
ideas, like, here's this much money.
Yeah. And
like,
so
I'm willing to give you this
exactly. And I looked at some movies that they made. They made one with like Shia LaBeouf in 2003 or something, where he plays like a vet or something. Yeah, that was one of the movies that got made. There was another one. I forgot.
The series, you know what it's called, right? Project Greenlight.
Project Greenlight. Yeah.
It's literally Shark Tank, but for movies.
That's
literally the easiest way to understand it and describe it.
Yeah.
And this was one of the winners.
The first couple movies that they made, there was like a dramedy. Yes, like around that time, yeah.
Still, like,
probably
even
earlier. No. Yeah. Because he was super young. He looked like he was like 15, 14 at that time.
That's crazy.
And the movie that he was in, it was more like a drama movie. And then there was another one that was like a romance movie.
This time he didn't try ripping out his own tooth.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then like, so those movies tanked at the box office. The Shia LaBeouf one, like, I think they spent, I don't know, maybe like $1 million to make, and it ended up recuperating like 100,000. So like, it was just,
complete bomb. Yeah,
complete bomb. The only one that was a success was this one, because like they thought like, okay, well, horror movies are profitable because they're cheap to make and a lot of people would watch.
Yeah, and it's still
same thing. Yeah, it's still popular now with Blumhouse. You know, Blumhouse, they're making very
make
cheap.
some bangers, some they don't, just like
garbage.
No, I'm not saying they're all bangers. I'm saying that they crank some shitty ones out.
Yeah.
Throw it to the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Release movies in October, June, July.
What was the most recent thing they made?
Five Nights at
Megan? No, but that one hasn't come out yet. Megan is the last one that came out.
Okay, I heard mixed reviews about that. I wanted to watch that.
I actually just saw it on Sunday. It's it's all right. Like for
all right, I'll leave it at that. It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah,
I'll watch and make my own opinion.
It's an extended like Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly, pretty much.
But the movie had a $3 million budget.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought it was like way lower.
I thought it was too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it was $3 million. It only grossed $658,000.
So it's still a bomb.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
When you were like, "Oh, this is the highlight of those things," I was like, "This was the highlight."
Well, this one made the most money compared to the other ones. So
I didn't see the other ones, but I knew that
in terms of like what
show.
it made, or versus like
what it
didn't lose.
What it made, I guess, because all the other ones they were making like $100K.
The
you know,
Shia
like
LaBeouf movie, right, was $1 million, but they made like half of that.
This
movie spent $3,000 or $3 million.
We gotta look at stats.
The
Shia LaBeouf movie, they made like 10% of the budget. So
yeah, and I'm saying if they made like 10% of the budget on this movie, they would still be making more, but it'd be still horrible.
The thing with this one kind of became like a cult classic.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that it's they, when you watch these special features and you hear everybody talking, they're like, oh, our inspiration for this was literally, we remember watching horror movies as kids, and we could only like find what we could find in the bin.
Yeah,
and we would like,
you go to Best Buy and like, that one looks cool.
That's literally what they were like. We that's how we would know these, and then we would talk to other people who loved horror, and they would know these movies, and it was just kind of this fun like little in thing.
Yeah,
and it's like, we want to do a campy movie that does that exact same effect, and I think they accomplished that, considering that I knew about it.
About this movie like 18 years later.
I mean, I noticed that they used that shot from The Evil Dead.
Which one?
Yeah,
in the beginning.
Oh, the running up.
Yeah, the running up towards the door and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that one that had to be done from The Evil Dead, 2013. No,
taking shots.
So, no, yeah. So there was a lot of like love that went into it. I mean, some actors it seemed like they were just kind of like, oh, it's work, work is work. But a lot of the stuff they filmed after,
which I didn't really get that. I didn't really feel like anyone was just there for a paycheck. Maybe Cody, but he wasn't there long.
It was mainly the interviews that were like, some people were just like, oh yeah. Just
like everyone in the actor, all the actors in the movie, I felt like they weren't just like phoning in their performance. Like they actually.
No, they performed. Like the actress that played Cody's mom. Tiff. She did a pretty good job, like crying and like.
I was cracking up because I was like, because she looked familiar. I was like, why does she look familiar?
Where is she from?
She's from Liar Liar. She's the
wife.
No, she's
kind of the
no.
Which one? In the elevator?
In the elevator?
Yeah. Oh, in the elevator?
They literally call her the busty woman.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was her title. So I'm not even being like cringe about it. So literally was the title, busty woman. It was where he was like
when he was like, Mama. That part?
No.
That's a whole different movie, I think.
No, that's the same movie.
Oh, okay.
That's the same movie, but it's a different person. He was in the elevator and he goes, he's like, first day? She's like, yeah. She's like, everyone's been really nice to me. And
yeah.
Big old honkers.
Yeah.
I was rewatching like scenes. Like, she's a liar. Is she the one that he has the affair with? And I was like, oh no.
It's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's the girl in the elevator, and then the other girl was like the girl with the like, not like a pixie cut.
You're still talking about Liar Liar?
Liar Liar, yeah.
The other girl is from is Tiffany from Chucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Jennifer Tilly.
There you go,
Yeah.
Jennifer Tilly.
I was like, it's funny because they're all like, I saw a connection between horror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
while I was going through it, but she's also the mother from the Final Destination, the race car one that had.
I see.
Like even though it's practical, CG was really bad still.
The Final Destination is that
That's
the one with the cool?
one.
I know, but is that the one with the cool ending?
No, that's Final Destination 5. That's like the best
okay.
one. Final 4 was the worst one, unfortunately. That's what I was like. I mean, I really was hoping she would have one banger. Yeah. I hope for the best. I want to see.
Like you see
humble
the
beginnings.
movie, and you're like, oh, I really want him to succeed.
Exactly. So like, I was like, but she looked familiar, and it was bugging me. And she plays the mother that gets killed. Well, spoiler for Final Destination 4, but
not that you should watch it.
Doesn't matter now.
that one is where the lawnmower hits a rock and it goes through her eye.
Oh, it goes through her eye.
Yeah, that was her. And I was like, what the heck?
Oh man,
That's why I was laughing because
yeah. What if Final Destination 4 was a prequel to this movie?
It's a prequel.
All right, so closing thoughts. I really like this movie. It was.
Okay, when you say really like this movie, are you like, oh hey, like I'm gonna tell people to watch it, or are you just saying like it didn't bother you as much?
It depends on the people. Like,
here's the thing: I wasn't expecting anything from this movie. Like the minute it started, I'm like, okay, this is extremely low budget, and like it's a fun watch, and I gotta appreciate like the filmmakers' view with like the budget that they had, the vision that they had. It was like simple because I can see them like. And it's a great story. It's like I can just see them like pitching the story, It's a group of survivors in a bar, and they just gotta survive the night of these creatures like coming at them. It's like it sounds simple, but
fair,
you can do a lot with that.
They didn't have to survive the night, like
I know they just had to like
their chances are that those things can be out in the day.
Exactly.
That's another thing is there's an alternate ending.
What was the alternate ending?
The mother, the one surviving feast or monster, breaks in the door. And then the sunlight burns her, and she runs away. But because you know how they were wearing those big robes,
yeah.
The idea, I don't know if they go into these in 2 and 3. That's why I want to watch them.
Oh my! I'm not gonna.
No, I'm gonna watch them. You guys don't have to, but I'm saying that I was happy they took that out because it made it much more scary that they didn't have to survive through the night. They just had to survive.
Yeah.
So, but that would have changed the context of the situation. But that wasn't the deleted scene.
I'll show you a scene from the second movie. I'm not gonna watch it.
You'll
watch it.
I'm 100%.
I don't want to ruin it for you,
Good for
but I'm
you.
gonna show you a scene after when we're done recording. Because I think you'll think it's funny.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only reason I'll show it.
But I mean, like, I liked it because it reminded me a lot of Tremors. Like Tremors, like I said, it's one of my favorite movies, and Tremors is low budget as well,
Yeah, but like, so if somebody was like, "Oh, hey, I want to watch a movie. Which one do you want?" They show you Feast, they show you Tremors.
I'll choose Tremors.
Yeah, so
okay, but that's more.
I know, but I'm saying I like this one. I like this one because like it obviously
it took vibe.
Yeah, and it took inspiration from Tremors, like, and obviously like you can tell what movies the directors like they're trying to like get inspiration from, whether it be like From Dusk Till Dawn or like Tremors or Evil Dead or something.
I feel like I should go first with the rating wise though before you say yours because I like this movie a lot, but I can recognize the flaws and the limited story structure.
No, I had a lot of flaws, dude. Like,
no,
don't get me wrong.
But that's also why it's just fun. But like even I put it at like a 6.5 out of 10.
6.5. Is that your rating?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go first because I'm saying
Okay.
I love the movie and I'm still gonna rate it like that because it serves its purpose. It's a fun watch. I would recommend it to people who I think would enjoy it, even though some may not. Apparently,
I mean, it's a gore. It's a gory movie, but then again, I have a high tolerance for gore. You know, so like if you like gore, this one's like it's a decent watch. You know, I give it a 6 out of 10.
oh yeah.
I would give it a 5 out of 10. Like when I was.
Damn.
Here we go again.
1 point difference. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 6 is harsh.
You gave it a 6.5.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
decent.
And you
Like
love the
6.
movie.
Yeah,
6.
I could. I'm not gonna. What is it?
You're not gonna compare this to Hereditary, you know, like, but still, it's
Like a 5 is like barely sufficient. That's not even half of like. Yeah, and a 6 is like it did its job.
yeah,
And
like
6.5 is like.
a little bit over.
Yeah, like
First of all, I don't have to explain to you two.
you know.
Second of all, I 50%, right? Like I'm not gonna be like, oh guys, let's turn on this. Like if I had an unlimited library of horror movies,
Yes.
this is not like in my first like 50 picks.
Of course not, but it's like, you know,
Yeah, I probably would still.
if like look, if you're
it's
like
a guilty pleasure.
if
It's
you're
just
with
a-
friends and your friend is like scrolling through movies and he's all like, "Huh, Feast, what's this movie?" And you'll be like, "Oh, you never seen it? I have." He's like, "Oh, should I watch it?" And you'll be like, "Sure, go for it." You know what I mean?
I'd be like, if you want, yeah, throw it on. Like it's not like the worst thing. Like I've seen like super low budget where it's like you can tell like they throw something and it's just green screen.
yeah.
Like there's a lot
It's
of
like-
practical effects.
This whole movie is like practical. I think the only 2 CG parts I'm not even sure about it because they didn't specify.
the
Was
CG pie, yeah. Go ahead.
is the blood that splattered on the screen on the camera lens,
Yeah.
and then there's one other one. Which one?
That
do you-
wasn't real.
There was
can't tell.
I know,
when
it's fake.
they throw the barrel when they shot to explode,
Uh-huh.
the water coming out of the barrel, that was CG.
No,
Because it was just like a constant patter of water. Like it's not like water shooting out, but it seemed like a stock image of just water coming out of the barrel because it had the same pattern of water coming out. So I'm like, okay, that's just like stock CGI water, you know?
the barrel on the bat that was in the attic when he went upstairs. Bozo went upstairs
Oh.
to get the radio. The bat was CG.
Okay.
So like this movie,
At least the explosion wasn't CG. The explosion was real.
but
So
I'm
that
saying
was
like
cool.
the whole movie literally did as much practical effects as possible.
And I can
enjoy
enjoy
that's why
that.
I-
Yeah,
that's
I
why
give
I
props to
appreciate
that.
more,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think
Because I hate it when movies are low budget and they're like, we're
Not
gonna
even
use this low
try.
budget and we're gonna try to go all CGI like fucking Jeepers Creepers.
Oh yeah, I saw that clip you guys sent me. That was terrible.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't
You're
watch the
talking
movie.
about
The Reborn, the new
the
one.
newest
yeah,
one. You guys just
you
sent
showed me
that
a clip of it.
Where like 60% of the movie is CGI and it's like your budget was like less than Feast and you wanted the whole movie CGI? Like just make it practical.
So I mean, like, would you have preferred to have been like more of a cash grab though, like that?
No. I feel like it would
Because then it
have
wouldn't
been,
be as memorable.
No, this
It
would have
would've
been great, like a straight to DVD movie, straight to streaming, like just like whatever.
like when modern
movie.
time, yeah, like this would be something you would like. This would like, I put it like 2 levels above like a sci-fi original. Like
That's fair.
sci-fi's are
Sci-fi's are like 3. Yeah, like I would say like 3.
yeah, so
I
like
don't
2 levels
know.
above that is a 5, right? That's just
Yeah,
basic math.
no, yeah, I'm trying to justify. I'm trying to understand your reasoning. And I'm like, all right, I can see that.
I'm gonna get yelled at again after the podcast.
There's more stuff I can get into, but I'll probably make my own video about that. Because the writers went on to do a handful of stuff. They made like some of the Saws, the screenplay writers.
Oh yeah,
They did Saw like 3D, 4,
Soft
5,
game.
6, I think.
Good for
I'd have
them.
to look at that, but I thought that was cool.
Good for them. I mean, yeah, on the right side, like it actually kickstarted a bunch of careers from this movie
Just a few. The editor went on to do like editing for
because
Insidious
you said that this movie came out in 2005.
yes.
Well, the actor that played the hero, he was in Last Stand, X-Men Last Stand,
Yeah.
and that one came out in 2007.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have like anything
Thanks.
after that really. I was looking. I was like, man, I was hoping.
Point
for
being,
the best.
most of the people
They
in
gave
here
people a
had a
chance.
chance.
It was a good like startup.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the writers did Pilgrim. I thought that was badass.
Pilgrim?
From Hulu, Into the Dark, the short, the
Oh,
the
okay.
screenplay writers?
Yeah.
yeah. They,
That's cool.
you know, all right.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving we're watching Pilgrim.
Right.
You probably will not like it, but I like that one a lot too. Go for it. Close this out, boys.
But I mean, yeah, no, that was that. It's low budget. It's not it's like an indie movie, but it was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Not a lot. I just liked it.
Cool. So if you're into horror comedy movies from 2005, you're really into that era of horror movies, or you like a lot of practical
That's
gore
not even a
effects.
comedy.
Yeah, it's a horror comedy.
It is a horror comedy.
Like the
It's
definition. of horror
literally
comedy.
listed around a horror comedy.
Okay, I guess it had its moments.
Yeah, it had its moments. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it right now.
Yeah, just
Watch it if you want. Probably too late to be telling you that now. If you've already
I was like,
this
way
far
too
in,
late.
But who knows? It'll feel like you watched it with us.
Point being, you're not gonna be watching this movie for a plot, so it's like, who cares if we spoiled stuff? Like, it's just for like spectacle. That's pretty much it.
Like a slasher.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
That's pretty much it. Bye.
Bye.